came off the track. Is he okay, or is he unavailable through injury?
He's okay. He won't play this week, so we'll manage Ned. That's going to come out eventually, but a young player, hard in and under, attacks the footy. He's a bit bruised and battered. Nothing medical, just more of a management. And we've got a challenge coming up over the next 6 rounds where they pile on top of each other. So we wanted to make sure he was right to go and not trying to push through too much soreness.
So just a little bit sore, but nothing that would necessarily keep it out.
Yeah. It's more of a management thing with some of these younger guys. I think you're going to see a fair bit of it across the league. Not just younger players, but even some of the more senior guys. As we get into 4-day breaks and 5-day breaks, it's going to be quite a challenge. And we felt like it was about time for Ned, who's played a couple of really good games. Thought West Coast he was strong. Last week, maybe dropped a little. So we'll freshen him up a bit.
Who comes in for him? Do we have to wait till?
You might want to wait for that. Look, there's no hiding. We're going to bring Murphy in. Small forward for small forward. Where Essendon are very strong across half-back. A lot of running players across there and damaging. So we felt that taking a small out that was going to help us on the ground, we needed to put one in. So Murphy will come in.
Is that the only change we can expect?
At this point, we may make one more. Might hold that one.
Jake, Kelly okay?
Yeah, Jake's fine. Jake's going really well. Our backs, we'll have a little bit of a look at what we're doing with the ball, but we're defending really well behind the footy. We're really pleased with the way our guys have gone about the defensive side of the game. We've probably struggled to really get our flow going. Got a little bit of that v West Coast, but dropped away last week. So we'll have a look at what our mix looks like down back.
Another sort of recurring theme again is Bryce. He's done enough to be in the squad. Where does he sit for selection?
Yeah, so similar. Bryce won't play this week, but he won't play. But he's in the squad. And same as last week, he's pushing for a spot. As I said before, there's a fair bit coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks where there's going to be some management that we haven't seen before, and obviously he's sitting right in that spot at the moment. He's going to help the group.
What do you think of your draw that was announced this week? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's the challenge. We knew it was coming. Had a look at a few other draws, but I think it'll even itself up as we go through. As the AFL have been trying to do, I think they've done a good job of it. It's challenging, but at the same time, everyone's in the same boat, and it's just a matter of how you go about that as a football department. Whether you manage to make it 10-day breaks rather than a 4 and a 6, or whether you've got players that can see out all 5 of the games. We'll continue to work through that over the coming weeks.
You mentioned the flow there. I think touched on it a bit post-game, but how hard is it to get that flow and that synergy when you can't actually train as a full group all the time?
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's tough, but that's what we're working on. We're trying to find ways to train it without going against protocols and no contact. You can move the ball as a full group, but there's not a lot of defence going against you. So that's the challenge at the moment, is trying to build that connection between the group and really get your flow. As that's a really good word. Did I use that or did you use that? Synergy. That's the one. Yeah. Just getting our group to connect and feel it, under pressure. Not being able to have that pressure out there's tough at the moment, and we're doing what we can to simulate the game, but it is hard.
Is it more what other sides are doing too? What the Saints did on, or is it how do you weigh up? This is what we're trying to do with the opposition are doing.
Their defence. Yeah, well, I think they defended really well. It's something they've done, so far this year. They've got a lot of speed in that front half, and they do shut down the ball reasonably quickly. So that was our challenge. We knew it coming in. We didn't quite execute on the night.
Are you making progress, I think, Matty? I know it's hard when you can't train with everyone, and the losses are coming, but do you feel like you are improving and it's turning the corner? Yeah,
we do. Behind the scenes and off field, we're making progress. There's some really positive stuff going on. I think I've talked through it each week. There's small things, small wins that you have off field. Obviously, we are in an industry where results are what we're chasing, and we're not getting those results on the field at the moment. So it's frustrating for everyone, but we're sticking tight, and we're seeing some really strong growth off field. And I think even the commentary around some of our younger guys that are playing through, there's some positive stuff right there on. We're about to see breakthrough. We've got some more players too that are playing well at in our practice matches that we'll probably get a look at over the coming weeks, with the challenging draw. But ultimately we're doing a lot of work. We're not quite getting the reward at the moment. I'm sure it won't be far around the corner.
Will you need to rest Tex with his knee, do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think having that conversation with Tex and looking at the draw, there'll be a chance we try to work that so he might have a 10-day break at some point rather than, as I said before, a 6 and a 4-day break.
Metres gained seems to be a bit of a buzz stat at the minute. Obviously, guys like Brody and Brad drive that with you guys already. Have you had a chat much to Matt? You had 25 possessions for sort of 100 metres. Wasn't a great deal of production out of him. Have you addressed that at all with him?
Yeah, we didn't really go to a metres gain with Matt. Matt's Onewood is his ability in around stoppage, and that's the area that he's working on at the moment. He's trying to get right. Off the back of that he finds himself in some unusual positions with the footy where, we're talking about what he can bring, what's his weapon, and he's got an amazing ability to win ball in stoppage. So he's done a fair bit of work this week. We sat down, watched a bit of vision. He's the ultimate professional, so I've no doubt he'll fight back. We'll get him straight back in there this weekend, and against a slightly lighter midfield, we really want him to go to work. It's going to be a challenge because they spread well and they're a very good running side. But for Matty, the work we want from him is for him to just bring that weapon back that we know he's got when he was All-Australian and winning best and fairest.
Darcy Fogarty looked pretty good out there, is he? Maybe one more week or maybe 2?
Yeah, probably another week with Darcy. We hope one. And then it's a matter of how do we bring him back through. Like the challenge is there. We go we sort of alternate our games with Port Adelaide's, and that's where we've been playing our practice matches with them. So it's going to make it hard for him to get a hit out in. We'll try and simulate a match for him as well as we can, but it might be another week, maybe 2 if we have to simulate some match play just to test him out. But he's improving rapidly. It took a while. It took a while for him to get to that point, but now he's confident, and because he's such a powerful young man, he needs that strength. He needs to be right through the shoulder.
Fisher looks like he's going to be a very good player. Saw that great mark on the weekend. Have you worked out where you think he's best suited, or are you going to continue to go both ends?
We'd love him to swing for the rest of his career, back and forth. But we haven't locked in anything for Fish yet. We're really enjoying the development that he's showing. He's getting better week by week. He's learning a lot from super experienced opponents. Even at training sessions, he's as I said about Matty, that you get some players that come through that, even in their first year are just right up there. They're elite with their preparation. That's Fisher Mackesy, and that's why he was so high in the draft. So we know he's going to develop and continue to do that going forward, whether it's forward or back. I hope it's both.
Will you address a ruck situation this week, Matt, with another tool?
Yeah, we may do. We'll look at that, and that may help Fisher. It's something that we know we're putting a bit of pressure on Riley, but at the same time we think he's getting through it. We're really pleased with the way he's going about it at the moment. He's playing some great footy. He's been really strong in the air, marking the footy around the ground. But it's a long season for him if we continue to try and push that way. So expect to see some different stuff over the coming weeks. If it's not this week, young Strawn's been outstanding at training. Not of late because we can't train contests, but prior to when the restrictions came in and the protocols, he and Rob were battling it out. So I'm sure at some point he'll get his shot at AFL and play his debut.
Have you seen enough of Tex in the ruck? Has that been shelved?
No, but we're also mindful of where Tex is at. We don't want to push him too hard, and being up around the ruck it pounds the body being up there, especially against some of the size of the rucks that are in the comp at the moment. So we're a little bit mindful with that. We quite like some of the stuff we saw from his actual ruck work, especially early when he was going at his best. But we probably won't put him up there too often over the next few weeks.
Just on Essendon,
So did you say what do we have to be wary about?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot. I mentioned their half-back line earlier. Fantasia, you got Sard. They're super talented, elite speed, ball use. They're quite attacking throughout their midfield. They've got some real runners through there. So it looks like they've been really taking the game on and attacking with a bit of forward handball. It looked a little bit like Richmond at times, and they've obviously got some influence in their coaching ranks as well. So it's a challenge. It's a big challenge for us because we haven't really got it done in the midfield so far this year. We've been exposed in there against some opposition that have taken the game from us, sent us into our back half, which has made it a challenge. We're going to do our best to bring a contest this week and really turn it into that.
The change centre clearances have obviously been a bit of a recurring thing. Anything different, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, we have, and a little bit of method, but also a little bit of mindset through there. It's an area that's really hurting us. We're way off in that stat, and it's a really important one because it's where everything starts from there. So we've been looking hard at that, both from a system point of view, but also mindset. A little bit of structure.
How do you change mindset?
Yeah, I was going to ask exactly the same.
I find mindset's a little easier than structure, to be honest. Mindset's just about what you go into a game, what's your intention. Have we been a little attacking in there? Could we shut that down, or could we go a little bit more attacking? Maybe we're slightly defensive, and there's always that balance. That's what we've worked through with our mids to this point. I hope you see a response this weekend, because I'm pretty confident you will.
What do you want from them, Matt? Do you want to attack and win the ball and take territory, or do you value stopping the opposition first? Where would you want your players to sit on that mindset?
It's a balance, really. I mean, we're always looking at a balance all over the ground, but when you come up against Pat Ryder in the ruck, you come up against Max Gawn in the ruck, or you come up against Nick Nat, and we haven't had Max yet, but we will get him at a point very soon. I think there's a reality to the fact that, with all respect to Riley, we're probably not going to get first hands on that ball a lot. So your mindset has to be in a slightly different position to running routes and thinking it's going to be lace out on your chest. So we're doing some work with that at the moment. We've had quite a challenging last 3 weeks. We came up against Nick Nat and West Coast, and we knew that was a challenge. Last week, we knew again with Paddy coming in, that's his one wood. His weapon is getting that centre bounce and giving them first use. So we'll come into this week's game, and we've done some slight tweaking, as I said, around a few areas. Not only mindset, but also a little bit of structure and the way we go about it.
Keys has been good in there, but is that balance, having a defensive mid in there, and how do you this way?
Exactly the conversation we had. We probably got pulled apart a little by West Coast, and that was an experienced player playing a sacrificial role that he did really well. And it's good to see, actually. It's a good learn for a lot of our younger guys.